Janet Van Dyne meets Kong when she is imprisoned in the quantum realm. After the Battle of Earth, Scott Lang has since written a number of successful memoirs and has been living contentedly with Hope Van Dyne. Cassie, Lang's now teenage daughter, has developed into an activist, and because of her work, Lang has had to free Cassie from prison. Cassie says that she has been working on a gadget that can communicate with the quantum realm while visiting Hank Pym and Janet, Hope's parents. The five of them are pulled into the quantum realm when Janet learns of this and attempts to turn off the gadget out of terror. However, the message is received and the gateway opens. While Hope, Janet, and Pym search a vast metropolis for answers, Scott and Cassie are discovered by locals who are uprising against their king. Lord Krylar, a previous ally of Janet's, tells Hope, Janet, and Hank that things have changed since she left and that he is now working for Kong, who is now in charge of the kingdom. Lord Krylar is there when Hope, Janet, and Hank meet with Lord Kong. The three are compelled to leave and take his ship after a fierce confrontation. The Langs are informed by the leader of the rebels, Gentora, that Janet's association with Kong is partially to blame for the uprising. However, they are soon attacked by Kang's forces, which are composed of robotic soldiers led by MODOK, who is later revealed to be Darren Cross after having survived his apparent death at the hands of Lang. The Langs are brought before Kong, who threatens to murder Cassie unless Scott helps him recover his power core. Lang is brought to the core, where he contracts. When Hope shows up, she saves him from drowning in a sea of versions of himself and helps him get the power core. However, Kong breaks the agreement, seizing Janet and destroying her ship, which was carrying Hank. Him assists Lang and Hope as they go to Kong after being saved by his aunts, which were also drawn into the quantum realm, swiftly developed, and become hyper-intelligent. Cassie, who is still in jail, frees Gentora, and together they launch an insurrection against Kong and his soldiers. Cross is persuaded to switch sides and fight Kong during the conflict by Cassie, even knowing it would cost him his life. When Hope returns, Scott and Janet use a combination of Pym particles to destroy the power core while simultaneously knocking Kong into it and consuming him into oblivion. As Janet fixes the power core, Pym, Hope, Cassie, and Kong jump through a portal home, but Scott is attacked by Kong and nearly beaten to death. For Scott and Hope to enter their own house again, Cassie reopens the portal on her end. Scott cheerfully carries on with his life, but he starts to second-guess the notion that Kang's passing was the beginning of something dreadful. Several Kong incarnations led by Immortus grieve the death of one of their own in a scene around the middle of the credits, and they start planning their multiversal uprising. Following the credits, Loki and Mobius M. Mobius encounter Victor Timely, a different Kong who is living on Earth in the 1940s.